we have some recruiting news. And I think that if this person just to really ice that and make and drive this home, it might be good to get the O-line shored up, because it sounds like, according to Steve Wiltfong, usually when he drops a commit, it's 99%. It looks like Babalola, who we have been talking about on this program for a long time, is coming to Michigan. So let's talk about that. What do you think that the driving factor was here in Babalola? I mean, it's not 100% yet, but it's as good as. What do you think happened there behind the scenes the last couple of weeks to take him from potentially Auburn, potentially others, all in on Michigan now?
Yes. So as we know, this recruitment has been a legitimate battle that Michigan has been in on with Auburn, with Stanford. Auburn came on late, NIL very aggressive. What really helped seal the deal for Michigan, and I guess it's not public, he's not officially committed yet, but I am here to say that I am locking Babalola into Michigan. I think it is quite clear this is going to be happening. Sharon Moore and Grant Newsom stopped by Babalola's game last Thursday. They saw him in person. They made a hell of a closing pitch, I would say, to secure Babalola, the 5-star offensive monster. People are asking, well, what's the timeline for this? Well, first let's talk about how, as you asked, John, why did this occur? How did Michigan gain this pole position at this point in the recruitment? And the reality is this. We know Auburn turned this recruitment into a more of an NIL recruitment than an academic one, like it was previously with Stanford. Michigan has stepped up. They are doing what they need to do in that space to make themselves obviously the team to beat in this recruitment. And as things are currently looking on October 15th, Babalola is going to be a Michigan Wolverine. He is going to commit within the next 2 weeks. His last game is October 25th. He wants to commit before his season ends. There's some buzz. It may be sooner than later. It could very well be this week. It could be as soon as tonight. That's from what I've heard. So at any point from now into the next 2 weeks, Babalola will be turning blue to Michigan. By all accounts, what has sold Babalola is offensive line development. Academics do have some value here. It's not like they completely lost their significance in this recruitment, but Michigan playing ball, NIL, those three things, as well as Sharon Moore personally visiting him last Thursday, I guess just put it over the edge. So shout out to Sharon Moore doing what he needs to do here. This is a major get, guys. This is literally, figuratively, and literally, Babalola is a monster, and this is a monster addition to the class. So we are looking forward to seeing him join us. And there's a lot of buzz that this commitment, when it comes, is going to trickle or set off some dominoes for more. Michigan's on the brink of landing not just one commitment, but more. So we will see how that transpires. Obviously we got some more players we're going to get into, but very good news. I'll say this, there is a lot of optimism about the approach that Sharon is going to be taking here from this point forward, from not only closing 2025, but 2026, the portal. I have been told, this has been told to me personally, Sharon understands the mission. That's what I've been told. And we're going to find out. And this is a great indicator that things are in the right direction, because this is a major addition to the class.
Well, speaking of major additions to the class, somebody who has been in the minds of many the last, year plus, Bryce Underwood.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember being on the boards and the experts were saying, stop talking about Bryce Underwood. Stop trying to make Bryce Underwood happen. It ain't going to happen. But you got an update. So I'd love to hear kind of what might be happening on the Underwood front. If Portnoy's involved with his $1 to $3 million, talk to me, TJ. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah. So Michigan has not stopped recruiting Bryce Underwood. Even though he is committed to LSU, he is still being courted by Michigan. What I have been told is heat is being applied. That is they are applying the heat to the Bryce Underwood recruitment. They're doing what they can to get him to flip to Michigan. Now, will it be successful? To be determined. I'm not guaranteeing or promising anything. I know LSU is putting up, a lot. We've talked about some of the things that Bryce Underwood has been rumored or suspected at getting by LSU. But Michigan is apparently stepping up to the plate a little bit here and seeing what they can do. Now, can I confirm Portnoy is involved in that? I don't have that right now. But what I can confirm is that Michigan is applying the heat. They're going to be working very hard on Underwood from now until signing day. So we will see where that goes. I just wanted to bring that to the community because, as we all know, this is a major recruitment. And if they could pull this off, well, I'll tell you what, we may just have to do like a 10-hour I'm just kidding, but we may have to do we will definitely be doing a breaking news segment because it'll be a hell of a time for Michigan. And then, to our other commits here, to our other prospects here, John, Jordan Young. This is a player who was off my radar for some time. He had some buzz in April, and then he kind of trended away. He wanted to stay down south, things of that nature. Well, Lamar Morgan visited him during the bye week. Michigan is pushing very hard right now. Very hard. He is a top priority. He's going to be visiting October 26th for the Michigan State game. And the competition right now is North Carolina State, who is the favorite, and Clemson. But there is some serious buzz that Michigan might be able to pull this one. And this is one of the ones. This is one of the players here, Jordan Young, who is a top 100 recruit, 4-star nickelback is the position they're recruiting him for. There is some serious buzz that this could be one of those dominoes that may fall after Babalola. So we'll stay tuned to that. This is another major recruitment for Michigan, especially with the Ivan Taylor situation, which, John, I didn't even have this in my notes, but just to give a quick update on Ivan Taylor. Ivan Taylor visited Alabama. There is a little bit of concern here because he has a wandering eye. He will be visiting for the Michigan State game, so he will be coming back. But Ivan Taylor looks to be a player that Michigan has to work very hard to maintain into the class. But we will see. We will see where that goes. The other player, John, that we're going to hit on here is Alex Graham, defensive back, who is currently committed to Colorado. This is a kid who was at IMG, came back up to Michigan, and I have been on record saying I believe he will be in the class by the time National Signing Day comes. Well, my confidence has only grown in that. I'm feeling very confident this will happen. It appears to be very neutral right now. Alex Graham is playing really good ball right now at the high school level. Michigan's very interested. We will see when this can transpire, but I feel confident that Alex Graham will. The way things seem to be trending at the moment, it appears Alex Graham is looking. It's looking good for Michigan. So we will see. Obviously, things can change at a drop of a dime. But from my understanding, things are looking very good there.
Yeah. And I will say about Colorado real quick. I think that if Colorado goes 8-4 or they have a winning season, I could see Deion Sanders deciding I'm going to go to the NFL to coach Shedeur in the NFL. He has been coaching his kids at every stop along the way. I could see that happening, and then Colorado is headed for 2-10 city, and I don't know if Alex Graham is going to want to put up with that. I think Deion and that whole vibe kind of bought him in, so I could see him being absolutely a flip target, to come over to Michigan especially if Ivan Taylor goes to Bama.
Yeah, I mean you kind of there's a theme here. There's going to be a theme here with some of these prospects we're going to talk about. There's a lot of DBs. There's no question that some of these are safety nets in case a player happens to jump. Ivan Taylor being the one that's probably the biggest concern. Not that it's going to happen. I don't want to I'm not pushing fear. There's no indication it's happening But if there is a player to be mindful of or be aware of, it's Ivan Taylor.
Absolutely. So let's get to some more in just a sec. But before we do, Michael Jones has become a Those Who Stay Will Be Champions member here at Michigan Football, the voice of college football. Enjoy your emojis. Hit refresh, and you'll get to see all your emojis. You got a bunch of them. You're going to get a badge. It's great. Everybody, if you can welcome him to the membership with some emojis. Those who stay will be champions. Thanks, Michael. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Welcome to Wolverine Nation.
All right. So apparently we've got some folks from the likes of Oregon and Syracuse and Wisconsin who might be thinking about Michigan as a place to go to Ann Arbor and enjoy some Zingermans and some Ashleys and all that good stuff. So walk me through some of these and kind of where these might be at this point, TJ.
Yeah, so these are major also. There's some very good ones here. Well, the big one, and I think it was Juju commented in the the chat here. He wants to hear about Brandon Finney. Well, my guy, you're in luck. Top 100 corner. Brandon Finney, currently committed to Oregon. Sharon Moore actually visited him on Friday during the bye week. He will take an official visit to Michigan November 23rd. He wants to play closer to home. He does not. He's a Midwest boy. He does not want to play. He does not really want to. I'm not gonna say he doesn't want to play at Oregon, but distance is becoming something he's thinking about very seriously. So this is a major recruitment also for Michigan. I like the way it's trending right now. I love that Michigan is going to have the opportunity. And I misspoke. I said he was a Midwest boy. He's from Maryland, so forgive me on that. But he does want to play closer to home, as you can tell. Maryland, Michigan, Maryland, Oregon. There's a difference there. But yeah. So this is one I'm keeping an eye on. This is one that Michigan apparently has made some very good movement here. He's very receptive to Michigan's pitch. So this is a major corner that would be an excellent addition to the class. We'll see if they can do it. This is definitely a player that we will be on top of moving forward. But apparently the distance is a major factor right now. His family, him. So we'll see. They're very receptive to Michigan. I'm excited about it. We'll stay tuned. The next one we were going to hit on, John, is Elijah Dotson. He is actually a Pitt commit. Currently plays at Belleville. Friends with Bryce Underwood.
Hey.
Okay. Very good friends with Bryce Underwood. There's almost a belief there's some package deal talk going on right now. Now I'm assuming that I'm not. I mean, there's some buzz that there's a pack. I'm not assuming that there is some buzz that that's the case. We'll see. I can't confirm it though. But Michigan right now is keeping the coals hot on Elijah Dotson. To me, this is one of those situations where if the Underwood thing picks up, I could see Elijah Dotson in the class. It's another one where if Ivan Taylor makes a move, I could see Elijah Dotson in the class because it'll open up a spot on the back end. Something to be aware of. He is a 4-star defensive back, currently committed to Pitt. Michigan is being receptive right now. They are talking. We'll see where that one goes. The next player, John, is Quante Gillians, who is a 3-star defensive lineman, Syracuse commit. There is buzz. Michigan's in an extremely good spot to flip him right now. It's looking promising. I would say this is also one of the players that you could look for in a Babalola domino effect. Now I'm going to be transparent here. I am not as I wouldn't categorize this player on the level of an impact player. That to me, this is a developmental long-term project. So. Obviously a solid, potentially a solid get, but not the splash I know many people are looking for, but just a name to be aware of. And then lastly, and we had, I think it was our boy Burks, who likes to stir up the chat and talk ish about them Detroit sports. Enjoy your L when the Lions play you, Burks. But Nolan Davenport, Wisconsin offensive tackle, not Hardy Watts, but Nolan Davenport. Michigan offered him October 8th. They're looking to flip him to be another offensive tackle in the class. He's a name to know. We will be on top of that one. There is some word that Michigan really likes him. They're very high on him. They think he has a lot of potential. He is a mauler. He's the type of player that pancakes everybody. So something we will definitely stay tapped into.
Well, it's very exciting, some of these, and it's good to see that Sharon and company are looking at some of these, especially with some of the uncertainty with some of the class that Michigan already has. It's always good to be looking around. It's good to be seeing what's out there. Steve actually has a really interesting question here with the $5 super chat. YouTube member also. TJ, with Portnoy's money, what do you think is bigger bang for the buck? Getting an experienced QB for 1 year, or Underwood for 3 years, and he starts now?
Yeah, it's a great question. But I think the right approach would be Underwood, because if you get a quarterback for 1 year, you got a 1 year stopgap, maybe 2. With Underwood, you have a 3-year franchise program player. I mean, this is a cornerstone player. It's the type of player that will have. There is talk that he's a generational type player. We hear that word used a lot, but he is extremely talented. I mean, he is arguably the most talented quarterback to come out of Michigan. I don't know. I mean, he's more talented than Dante Moore was. Dante Moore came out 2 years ago. So this kid is, there was belief that if he came out last year, he'd be the number 1 player in the class. That's how good he is. So yeah, it's no question Bryce Underwood. If we were to land him, you would get a true domino effect of position players who want to come to Michigan, wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. It would be offensive linemen. Everybody, Bryce Underwood's the type of player who other players really, even though Brady Hart's going to have a similar impact, but Bryce Underwood, I would say, is 2 steps above a Brady Hart, in terms of that type of impact. So. Yeah,
let me ask you this, TJ. What about a Dos Equis go for Dos, and why not get a portal quarterback? Maybe not necessarily a world beater, but somebody like a Jack Tuttle, like a Bowman, Alan Bowman. They had a history of doing that. Maybe he's not QB1, but he's in there to help guide the room. And then you spend your $3 million, you spend your majority there on Underwood, because he's the truth. He's the JJ of the future if you get him.
Well, in my opinion, the Bryce Underwood, the Portnoy money is free money, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is this: you still have a large NIL budget without Portnoy, right? So why not get Underwood, whatever it takes. And then there's no reason you cannot have a $500,000 to $1 million portal quarterback. And you can, you can. That's a fair price to get actually a pretty quality starter who can be a 1 year stopgap until Bryce Underwood's ready to take over fully, because it's hard to trust a freshman quarterback, even a player of his caliber. That's right. You want to ease them into it. You don't want to just throw them to the lions. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be this off season. John, is gonna be I have some intel on the approach that's going to be taken that I want to share once we get through all the recruiting stuff. But yeah, I mean, this off season is gonna be major, and Michigan's gonna be it's gonna be a big deciding factor of the trajectory of the program.
Well, and we've got some Buckeyes in the chat. Even CJ Stroud, as good as he was, he had a redshirt year and he sat. So it's even with a player that's that good. Yeah, and I think Underwood's in that caliber, in that class with Stroud. I think he'll turn out that way. You might need to sit and learn a little bit, because the college game is, as you know, a little bit different from high school. And really, especially at this level, at Michigan's level, it's definitely up a notch. Michael, these are my favorite types of super chats, because they don't even need to say anything. They're just giving us money. I mean, that's just great. Thank you so much, Michael. You rock. Go Blue.
Yeah, they just want to contribute to the show. We appreciate it. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we've got a little time for something different. So apparently there's a basketball target we're looking at. Trey McKinney, 20th in the nation, 5-star composite guard. So walk me through what's going on there on the Dusty May basketball front.
So Trey McKinney is a major target, obviously. I mean, this is, one of the top players. I don't know where he'd rank all time in Michigan commits, but it's probably top 5. If it's not top 5, it's like top 8. He is going to be making a decision November 9th. And as it stands right now, Michigan is looking like the leader for this recruitment. There is some positive buzz out of Ann Arbor that Trey McKinney is blue. That's kind of the word right now. Dusty May had an interesting quote pretty recently about how he made sure to gather all the NIL funds necessary to recruit this year. And then once he gathered the NIL funds from the donors, he went on the nationwide tour and all that. He said then he started recruiting, because if you don't do that, then you can't land these fish. Well, this is one of those fish. This is the Dusty May effect here. I feel pretty good about it right now, but the thing about the NIL era, all it takes is a phone call, right? So we will see. So we have to wait till November 9th, and we will find out, what happens here. But this is all right. So Trey McKinney, the basketball player, he's a combo guard, 6'4", 205, #1 player in the state of Michigan. Extremely good shooter, excellent form, appears to be a true difference maker, will likely play his freshman year. That's how good he is. This would be a nice addition, especially to the way Dusty May likes to play offense, because Dusty May likes to have more than one point guard. This is a combo guard. This would be an excellent addition to the Dusty May vision. So I am excited about this. I actually think he's a very sound player looking at his highlights. So we'll see if Dusty can pull it off. As it stands right now, things are trending very well.